UN says Israelis and Palestinians may have committed war crimes in Gaza. Druze in the north attack army ambulance carrying injured Syrians. Violence breaks out as Ethiopian Israelis protest in Tel Aviv. White House responds to racist Obama tweet by Israeli minister's wife. Shalom and welcome to the Jerusalem Post News. The top stories for June 23rd. United Nations investigators on the 2014 Gaza conflict released a report on Monday saying that Israel and Palestinian groups may have violated the laws of war. The report called for individual IDF soldiers as well as top military and political Israeli decision makers to be held accountable if they violated international law.
The most that we can hope for out of this long and arduous process of inquiry is that we will push the ball of justice a little further down the field, particularly by calling on governments to stand up and join together to address the crying need for changes in policies regarding the use of explosive weapons with wide area effects in densely populated urban areas like Gaza.
The report in hand was commissioned by a notoriously biased institution. It was given an obviously biased mandate. It was initially headed by a grossly biased chairperson who received money from the Palestinians and was forced to resign. The United Nations Human Rights Council has a singular obsession with Israel. It has passed more resolutions against Israel than against Syria, North Korea, and Iran combined. In fact, it's passed more resolutions against Israel than against all the countries of the world combined. So Israel treats this report as flawed and biased, and it urges all fair-minded observers to do the same.
Israeli Druze in the Golan Heights attacked an ambulance carrying 2 Syrians brought into Israel for medical treatment on Monday, killing one and leaving the second badly wounded. Police confirmed that the mob stopped the ambulance outside the village of Majd al-Shams, threw rocks at it and attacked the 2 men. In the process, they also lightly wounded the driver and another IDF soldier on board. This was the second attack of this kind on Monday. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to bring the lawmakers to justice and called on the leaders of the Druze community to act immediately and calm spirits. A protest against racism and police brutality led by Ethiopian Israelis became violent in Tel Aviv on Monday night. Clashes between police and protesters left several people hurt and resulted in at least 17 arrests. The clashes came at the end of a peaceful protest march attended by hundreds of Ethiopian Israelis and their supporters. One of the main issues they were protesting was the closing of a case that they say was police brutality after the emergence last month of a video clip that showed a policeman shoving and punching an Ethiopian soldier. The White House responded on Monday to a tweet by an Israeli minister's wife comparing US President Barack Obama to black and weak coffee.
I think if there's one thing we've certainly learned from this incident, this is not the only time we've learned this, but that on Twitter you're limited to 140 characters, but it still has the capacity to be quite revealing.
The tweet by Judy Nir Moses Shalom, wife of Interior Minister Sylvan Shalom, drew a string of comments from her followers who accused her of racism and harm to Israel's image. Shalom deleted the tweet and issued an apology. She added that her main fear was her husband's reaction to the tweet. Sylvan was in London for an Israeli-UK Joint Strategic Challenge conference. And that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more news from Israel. Until then, shalom from the Jerusalem Post studio.